In the last lecture, we have completed very important and the basic formula which is required multiple times, which is equal to E plus F is equal to V square upon GR. This formula we have covered in the last lecture. And we have seen also some specific cases regarding that. In that case one is and okay, we have seen the specific cases regarding that. In the first cases we have seen we have kept F, that is frictional force, as 0, as we have the general formula as E plus F is equal to V square upon GR. Okay, this is our general formula. In this case, in the first case, we have kept as F is equal to 0. So this F will become as 0, then the formula will become only E is equal to V square upon GR. This is first case. Then in the second case, we have kept E as a 0, and then we have derived another formula. And in the last case, we have kept E as a 0 and F as a maximum value 0.50. By that, we have calculated the velocity of the restriction of the speed. Okay, we have calculated velocity of restriction. Okay, so by this formula, see here, by this formula, what we have got is F is equal to V square upon GR. Okay, by this formula we have got F is equal to V square upon GR. So if I take this GR in the left side, what will happen? V square is equal to F into GR. Okay, then the equation will become V square is equal to F into GR. Then what will be the V? If I remove the square, that is, if I take the square root on both sides, then it will become as V is equal to F into GR. Okay, then it will become V is equal to F into GR. So this is our what? The limiting value of speed, or the restricted value of the speed. Okay, up to this value we have to restrict our speed if the E is equal to 0 and F is the maximum value 0.15. Okay, that we have seen in the last lecture. Now we will move forward. Okay. Now, then we have calculated the ruling radius, and very importantly, while calculating ruling radius, you should know that whenever you are calculating the ruling radius, the main important word is, while calculating the ruling medium radius, it can be assumed as a maximum super elevation at coefficient of friction. Okay, we have to assume the maximum. So if we take or we kept the super elevation as a maximum and the coefficient of friction as the maximum, so whatever the radius that we have got, that radius is called as ruling radius. Okay, it is derived from the original formula only. Okay, I will tell you. I will just see here how it is derived. We know E plus F is equal to V square upon GR. This is our general formula. Okay, then by this, if I have to calculate R, if I have to calculate R, I will take this R in the left side and the remaining term E plus F in the right side. Okay, see here, I will take R at the left side and this term E plus F in the right side. So R will become as R is equal to V square as it is divided by G as it is. Only term will become E plus F. Okay, this will be the extra term only. So this is our radius and this is the formula for radius. And if I in this formula I kept the value of E and F maximum, value of E and F maximum, then at that time this R radius is called as ruling radius. Okay, this radius R is called as ruling radius. Okay, got it? This is derived from the original formula only. Just we have to keep in mind whenever we are taking the E as a maximum, F as a maximum value, then the respective radius is called as ruling radius. Okay, that we have seen in the last lecture. Now, then we have taken the design steps for the superelevation. For the first step, we have calculated E. If that E not satisfy the value that is less than 0.07, then we will move forward for the next step number 3. By this step, if this value of F will goes beyond the permissible value that is 0.15, then we will move forward for step number 4. In this step, it is very important to note, in this step, it is very important that which value? The maximum value of E and maximum value of F. That is, maximum value of E we will take as E max is equal to 0.07. This is our maximum value. And as well as maximum value of F, that is coefficient of lateral friction, how much it is? 0.15. So these are our maximum values that we are using here. So see here, by the first formula, if the value of E is less than 0.07, that is what? It is maximum 0.07. If that value will be less than 0.07, then we will call as this, whatever E will become. Suppose by using this formula, our value of superelevation will be as 0.03. Okay, by using this formula, we get the value of superelevation as 0.03. Then we can say as this value 0.03, as this value 0.03 is less than the maximum value of superelevation, that is 0.07, it is safe. Okay, if the calculated value is 0.03, so we can say that the calculated value, as it is less than 0.07, that is maximum superelevation, it is safe, and we just simply take that value. But suppose this superelevation E exceeds 0.07, if that value exceeds, suppose it will become a 0.09. Okay, it is greater than 0.07. At that case, we will not take E as a 0.09. In this case, what we take as, see here, it is given here, E is equal to 0.07. That is the maximum value of E that we put here in this formula. And by this, we will calculate the value of F, that is coefficient of friction. And by this formula, suppose the value of F will come as less than 0.15. In that case, we can say our superelevation is safe. Whatever the value, suppose F value will become as 0.10, then we can say we will put as frictional factor is equal to 0.01 and value of E is equal to 0.07. We can say that. But suppose this F value exceeds 0.15, then we have to go for next step, that is designing the speed. Okay, we have to look for control measures of the speed. Okay, if that two values are not satisfied. So these are the design steps for designing the superelevation. Hope you have understood that. These are very important steps that we have taken in the last lecture. I have just repeated because this is very important terms, so that I have repeated these terms. Okay, now we will move forward. This is our next point and new point of the chapter, that is extra widening. Okay, this is our new point of the chapter as the extra widening. What is extra widening? Okay, whenever you are driving on the horizontal curve, okay, if you have experienced that, I will tell. Whenever you are driving through the horizontal curves, what will happen? You might have experienced that. Suppose this is the horizontal curve on which you are driving your vehicle. Okay, our vehicle has 4 wheels. Vehicle has 4 wheels. But see here, very careful. Whenever our vehicle is driving on the horizontal curve, whatever the path that is traveled by the wheels, that same path cannot be followed by the rear wheels or the back wheels. Okay, whatever the path that is traveled by the front wheel, you might have observed whenever we are driving on the curved portion, whatever the path that you have covered by the front wheel, the same path cannot be covered by the rear wheels, that is back wheels. Okay, so that this much difference of the road will become this difference. Okay, this difference is known as widening of the road. Okay, what is happen whenever you are driving on the curved portion, the rear vehicle cannot follow the same path what is followed by the front vehicle. You can observe whenever you are driving on the horizontal curve. Okay, uh, if you have driven on vehicle on the horizontal curve, at that time you have observed that the front vehicles or front wheel cannot go for the same path that is followed by the back wheel. So that what will happen, the extra thickness or extra width of the road that we have to provide on that road is known as with the extra widening. So okay, so extra widening refers to the additional width of the carriageway that is required on the curved section of the road over and above the required of the straight alignment. Okay, and this widening is done due to the two reasons. There are two basic reasons to provide the widening. The first and most important is the additional width required for the vehicle taking a horizontal curve, and the second is due to the tendency of driver to pay away from the edge of the carriageway as they drive on the curve. Okay, so there are basically two reasons to provide the extra widening. First, that I have explained now only, due to the off tracking. It is called as off tracking of the wheels. So whatever the curves that are, whatever the road, whatever the position of the front wheels are there that are not followed by the rear wheels, this condition or this position, this phenomenon is called as off tracking. It is very important word, off tracking. Due to this, we have to provide the extra widening, as well as the driver's condition is there to travel on the by the edges of the road. Okay, for that also we have to provide the extra widening for the safety or the psychological factor of the road driver. Okay, for that reason the extra widening is also provided. So the extra widening is referred as the mechanical widening and psychological widening. Okay, so two different or main terms are there, the mechanical widening and psychological widening. In detail we will see one by one. The first word is the mechanical widening. See here, the figure shows very clear picture of the mechanical widening. The reason for the mechanical widening are when a vehicle negotiates the horizontal curve, the rear wheels follow the path of the shorter radius than the front wheels as shown in the figure. Okay, this phenomenon is called as off tracking. This is a very important word. This phenomenon is called as off tracking. See here, by the figure you can observe, by the figure you can observe that whatever the front wheels are there, front wheels, these are called as front wheels, and the back wheels are called as rear wheels. Okay, what is meant by rear wheels? The back wheels. Front wheels means the wheels at the front side, and the back wheels are called as rear wheels. Okay. Well, okay. So the radius or the path curve, the rear wheels follow the shorter radius than the front wheels. See here by the figure. In the figure, you can easily understand this. See here in the figure. The blue line indicates. See here, this blue line. This blue line indicates the path followed by the front vehicles or the front wheels. Okay. And this green line indicates the path followed by the rear wheels. Okay, see here. The path followed by the rear wheels. These are shown by the green line. By the figure only, you can understood that whatever the path followed by the rear wheel has the less radius than the path followed by the front wheels. Okay. See here, blue line and green line. Blue line is for front wheel, green line is for rear wheel. Path followed by the blue line is more radius, and path followed by the green line is having less radius. Okay, so this difference is called as extra widening, and this phenomenon is called as off tracking. This is a very important word. Off tracking of the wheels. Off tracking means what? Whatever the path that is followed by the front wheel is not followed by the back wheel. Okay. So this phenomenon is called as off tracking of the wheels. And this is very important phenomenon. Okay. So draw this figure. Draw this figure for mechanical widening. Everyone, please draw this figure. It's very important phenomenon. Mechanical widening. In that, draw this figure. Draw this figure, everyone. And the formula for calculating the mechanical wiring is equal to NL square upon 2R. How this formula is derived, we will see now. In the figure, this is L. This letter is L. L letter indicates the length of wheelbase. Okay, in the figure, this is letter L. This letter L indicates length of wheelbase. Okay. If you have drawn the figure, write down the formula below that. Mechanical widening is equal to NL square divided by 2R. N into L square divided by 2R, where N is equal to number of lanes. N is equal to number of lanes. 2 lane, 3 lane, 4 lane, 5 lane road. Likewise, L is equal to length of wheelbase. L is equal to length of wheelbase, and the standard length of wheelbase is equal to 6.1 meter. This is standard length of wheelbase is equal to 6.1 meter. Standard length of wheelbase is 6.1 meter. This is standard value. Write it down or write it down by making underline. This is very important. Standard value. Length of wheelbase, it is taken as 6.1 meter, and R is nothing but the radius of curve. Okay, R is nothing but radius of curve. Okay, so this is the formula for calculating the mechanical widening. Everyone write down this formula. Mechanical widening W suffix M is equal to NL square. Make the correction. The formula is NL square. Make the correction. The formula is NL square upon 2R. NL square upon 2R. This is formula for calculating mechanical widening. NL square upon 2R, where N is the number of lanes, L is the length of wheelbase, L is the length of wheelbase, in bracket 6.1 meter. The standard length of wheelbase is taken as 6.1 meter. Okay, we'll move forward now. Okay, so mechanical widening, therefore, to provide the same clearance between the vehicle, traveling in the opposite direction on the curved road as it is provided on the straight section. There must be extra width of the carriageway available. This is an important factor when the high proportion of the vehicle are using the road. Parallel trucks also need the extra carriageway depending on the tire joint. In additional speed higher than the design speed causes the transverse skidding, which requires the additional width of the safety factor. Okay, this is the reasons why we are going for the extra value. Also, we can see for the number of vehicles, the trailers vehicle or the heavy trucks are there. Their wheels are jointed. Two wheels are joined to each other. Okay. At that time, we require the extra widening because the width of the wheel get increases. As the one instead of one wheel, they have attached two wheels. In many trucks, for heavy loaded trucks, we can see there the two wheels are attached or jointed. Okay. For that, the extra winding is required whenever you are moving from the curved road. To feel the safety factor, the extra width of the road is provided as a mechanical winding. If the road is heavily traffic, road is having heavily traffic, then it is must that we are required to calculate the extra winding required, and we have to provide it on that road. Then this is the expression how to calculate the extra widening. See, this expression is depends on the Pythagoras premiere. You have learned the Pythagoras premiere. The diagonal square is equal to one square, one side square plus another side square. Okay. So by using that Pythagoras premiere, this formula is derived to calculate the mechanical widening. You can observe here the radius R2 by the figure. What is the radius R2? Radius R2 is equal to R1 square plus L square. Okay. By the figure, see here, in this figure, I will show. See, this is right angle triangle. This is R1. This is R2. This is the length of wheelbase. So, by Pythagoras, R2 square is equal to R1 square plus L square. Okay, R2 square is equal to R1 square plus L square. This will become the first equation. Then, what is the value of R1 here by the figure? R2 is equal to R1 is equal to R2. You can see here by the figure up to this much it is R1. Okay, and if we add this to the width of the wheelbase, it will become a R2 extra widening. So what will the value of R1? R1 is equal to R2 minus width mechanical widening that we have provided. By this figure, you can easily understood this. Okay, what is R2? R2 here is equal to up to here. The radius is R1, and by the after that we have added the mechanical widening in that. So the R2 is equal to R1 plus W1. So R1 is equal to R2 minus W1. So this we have put the value of R1 in this figure or in this equation. Then we will get this equation which is written below. Okay, so we will got this equation. After that, no need to remember the equation. Just I am telling the procedure how they have calculated the extra widening or the mechanical widening. Just to know how it is calculated, I am explaining. I have told the formula already in the last slide. After that, WM that will become as I square by 2 R2 minus WM. By taking the radius as the maximum value, they will reduces the formula into the short as see here extra widening mechanical widening. Okay, it is equal to n L square upon 2R. N L square of 1 to r. N is the number of lanes, L is the length of wheelbase, that is 6.1 is the standard, and r is the radius of the curve. Okay, so this is how we calculate the mechanical widening. Now we will move forward for the psychological widening. The widening of the pavement has to be done for the some psychological reasons also. Okay, there is the tendency of the driver to drive close to the edges of the pavement, as I have told earlier. What is the psychological effect? It is assumed that it is the psychological tendency of the driver to drive the vehicle close to the edges of the pavement of curve, so that some extra space it is required to be provided for the more clearance for crossing or overtaking operation of the vehicles on the curve. So as per the IRC has recommended that the empirical relation of the psychological widening at the horizontal curve is equal to, write down the formula for psychological widening. Psychological widening is equal to P upon 9 2.64 square root of r, 2.64 square root of r. Below that, therefore the total widening needed at the horizontal curve is write down the formula. Therefore, the total widening needed at the horizontal curve, extra widening, is equal to mechanical widening plus psychological widening. Write down the formula. It is very important formula. Total widening is equal to mechanical widening plus psychological widening. Write down like this. Total widening is equal to mechanical widening plus psychological widening. Write down the formula for mechanical widening and psychological widening. Over. And WE, so the final formula will become as WE is equal to NL square divided by 2R plus V upon 2.64 square root of R. But here the important term is what? Please see carefully. What is the important term here? See here, the value of V is in meter per second. Write down there, where the V is in meter per second. Well done, everyone. The formula might be asked in when the V is meter per second. It might be asked when V is in kilometer per hour. Write down here V, where V is in meter per second. But here, suppose we take the V in kilometer per hour. Okay, if we convert meter per second into kilometer per hour, make the provision 2.64 into 3600 second to hour divided by 1000 kilometer to meter. Let's see what value it will become. If we have to convert it into the kilometer per hour, how much it will become? Can anyone tell? If I have to convert the meter per second into kilometer per hour, then 2.64 into 3600 divided by 1000, or I can write here WE is equal to NL square of 2R plus P of 2.64 square root of R into 1000 divided by 3600. Why I have taken this? To convert the value of V from meter per second to kmph. Okay, how much it will become? Is equal to NL square upon 2R plus P upon square root of something value it will be there here. How much it will become? Please solve this equation and tell me the answer. This will be our final equation. Instead of 2.64, how much it will become? Calculate the value. Make it as 2.64 into 3600 divided by 1000. Okay, 1 hour means 3600 seconds, and 1 kilometer means 1000 meter. Okay, the simple calculation or conversion is there. As you know, for that I should tell 1 hour means how much? 60 minutes is equal to 60 into 60 seconds. 6 into 6, 3600 seconds. Okay, likewise, and 1 kilometer, as we know, as 1000 meter. So tell me how much or what value it will come as V divided by dash dash into square root of R. What will be the final value there? Does someone have answered? 9.504. Vaishnavi. Priyanka has answered 9.504. Okay. Only 2 persons have answered. Another one. Remaining, please answer or at least try. Let it be wrong. You have to just try. Don't worry about the results. Another 7-8% has very good 9.504. Okay, almost all have answered as 9.50. Very good. It is the right answer. The final equation so that it will become as the value here is 9.5. So this is our final equation or final answer. So write down the another equation. WE is equal to NL square divided by 2R plus V divided by 9.5 square root of R. And here write down here V is in kilometer per hour. Okay, write down here where V is in kilometer per hour. If you not got conversion, write the conversion as well. If you will not get understand it, simply remember okay, here V is in kilometer per hour. Write down both the equation. First is for when meter velocity is in meter per second, and the next one when the velocity is in kilometer per hour. Okay, write down both the equations. These are very important. So you should know. You should know the both the equation. One is in meter per second, and another one is in kilometer per hour. They might be asked for meter per second. They might be asked for kilometer per hour. Okay, so you should know both the equations. I will take the screenshot of the attendance. Okay, if you write down the formula, if you have not got any term, if you have any confusion regarding any term, you can ask. I will repeat. If you have any confusion regarding any term, you can ask. I will resolve that. So if you have done, you have wrote the both equation, then you can mark your attendance and you can leave the lecture. As if you have any doubt, you can ask. We will solve. Okay, you can mark your attendance and then you can leave the lecture. If you have done, we will stop here only. Thank you for attending the lecture. You can left now.